Listen, before we begin, I have to put this up here right in front so that there's no misunderstanding. Nothing presented in this recorded recovery seminar is intended to be, listen, nor does it constitute diagnosis of anything of any kind or medical anything of any kind. I don't do that. Others do that. What I do is present some things from another way of looking at them to see if they can be of some help. I put another spin, another angle outside the box for those who struggle. So I'm reaching out to help them. See if in this that I presented to those in attendance on that day and how I presented it to them, you too can find some new and helpful understanding. This is an outside-the-box, another approach recovery seminar for those alcoholics and addicts who struggle with their sobriety, many of whom have relapsed again, and yes, yet again. See if it helps you. Here's the seminar. So the seminar is called Alone in a Dangerous Neighborhood. And when I say that, right away you think, oh man, he's talking about the neighborhood where I cop. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm talking about your mind is a dangerous neighborhood for you to be in all alone. How's that? How many can see that? Your mind is a dangerous neighborhood to be in all alone. That's where the trouble starts. You know that? So here's the guy. No, this true story, see? He, something happened with his girlfriend while he was in treatment. And he was sure now that he had to leave. He had to run now to her rescue. So at that moment, he was all alone in a dangerous neighborhood with some dangerous thoughts. How many can see the dangerous thoughts? Going to run out of treatment and go. But he had heard the seminar, Alone in a Dangerous Neighborhood, and he wanted to run. And he remembered the seminar, Alone in a Dangerous Neighborhood. And he thought to himself for a minute, I am at this moment in trouble. Alone in a dangerous neighborhood. My mind is a dangerous neighborhood for me to be in all alone. So he came to me and he said, listen, I remembered the seminar, he said. I am there, Rev, alone in a dangerous neighborhood with some dangerous thinking, and I want to go because my girlfriend was crying on the phone. And he said, you know what? I can feel that damn irrational wanna inside, Rev. He said, I didn't think it was in there, but at this moment the wanna is going. Can you see this? And he said, I'm going to go. The only thing that may stop me from going to go is if I invite you into the dangerous neighborhood of my mind, where you can get inside there with me, Rev, and talk it out. Because something in me tells me if I leave, I'm going to get into trouble. But if I can talk it out, if you come into the dangerous neighborhood of my mind with me, we can reason this thing out. Now, watch the secret ingredient here. He wanted to do the right thing. If that want to do the right thing, if that desire to do the right thing wasn't there, nothing. That's the key. That's the basis of it all. What your heart desires is, listen, what your heart desires is exactly what you're going to do. If I tie you up and don't let you do it, if your heart desires to do it, how many know you find a way to get untied? Everybody, whoa, right? So alone in a dangerous neighborhood. You think about this now. This could save your life. Your mind is a dangerous neighborhood to be in alone. That's where you get ideas. How many of you get some ideas that are going to cause trouble? Let me see hands. Everybody in the room. Here's the dangerous neighborhood. They're waking you up at night. Here I am, baby, in the neighborhood. And if you don't invite somebody in, you're going to listen. I'll show you an interesting story here about that tonight. So here's a guy that heard me speak years ago on this, a lot of years ago. Anyhow, he did well in his sobriety, and for 17 years he didn't use. He did well. He sponsored people. He went to the institutions and things. He owned a photographic supply company, and so he was well off. And he bought now a condo, a new condo. So the night he moved into his condo, the first night, 3 o'clock in the morning, he wakes up after 17 clean years and honorable years, the whole 9 yards. He wakes up 3 o'clock in the morning. He wants to use. Out of nowhere. Wants to use. Whoa. So all those years, I had made an impression on him with a number of seminars. So he knew right away, watch, wow, I want to use, I'm here in my condo. I'm not only alone in my condo, I'm all alone in the dangerous neighborhood of my mind. So he picked up the phone, he called his sponsor, and he was beside himself. So his sponsor talked to him a little bit, and then hung up, and then the call came again. He called the sponsor. He said, listen, he said, Johnny, I want to friggin' use. So his sponsor said, all right, come on over, we'll have a cup of coffee, we'll sit up and talk about it. And they did till the morning hours, and he went back to his condo, he showered, he got ready, went to work, and he comes home to his condo that night, everything's okay, goes to sleep. 3 o'clock in the morning, he's up again. Well, he wants to use. Big time. Calls his sponsors. But the key here is, he is now, when you want to use, now just watch, the wanna is on. Can you see this? The gonna is kicking. You see it? And the override, dangerous neighborhood. That isn't happening in his big toe. That's happening in the spirit of his mind. Can anybody identify with this? So he calls the sponsor again because he knows it's dangerous to be in that neighborhood all alone in his mind. So the sponsor says, look, come on over, pack a bag, and hang for a couple days and see how this plays out. So he talks to the sponsor. He's there in the evening, and he goes back to his condo again. And after staying with his sponsor for 2-3 days, goes back to the condo. But keep in mind, through this whole dissertation that I'm doing, the key is he knows what I'm sharing with you. All alone in a dangerous neighborhood is a dangerous place to be. Your mind is a dangerous neighborhood to be in alone. So he goes back, watch this, and don't you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, he's up again, he wants to use. So he goes back to his condo and he wants to use again. So the sponsor says, come on, pack some things. He says, come over, stay here, stay away from the condo. Something's going on here. So again, I'm going to say, alone in a dangerous neighborhood, he heard this. He's applying it. He knows if he stays alone in the dangerous neighborhood of his mind, when the wanna is moving, you understand? And the gonna is kicking, and the irrational appetite is moving, he's in trouble. And the desire in his heart is, I don't want to use. So he's acting now on the desire in his heart. So his sponsor talks to him. He says, listen, you remember years ago when you just came into the fellowships and you were in therapy, you had a therapist. Is that guy still around? He said, yeah, he is. He said, I think you should call him up, and I think you should go stay away from the condo, and I think you should go see this guy. Because he said, this is dangerous. After 17 years, and this is happening in your life, and I can see, you're sincere. You don't want to give in to it. You don't want to use because you know the consequences. And so he goes to the therapist, and the therapist starts to talk to him, asks him about back then, when you used to cop, when you used to use. Walk me down the street. Trees, yeah, whatever. Sidewalk, whatever you remember. Cars, anything. Houses, and they're reviewing. Nothing. Second session with the therapist. Going down the street again, going back over it. Color of the cars, what kind of cars. Houses, anything descriptive on the houses, anything there. And he says, what about the smells? And the guy says, whoa, there was a bakery on that street. There was a bakery on that street where I copped, and he said, right back of my condo, there's a bakery, 3 o'clock in the morning, they start baking bread. Neuroassociation, it's called. It brought it all back. Deja vu on a big scale. Just listen to this. If he hadn't, and everybody doesn't listen when I do these things, I try to do them as passionately and as animatedly as I can, so I try to grab you, because like if it doesn't kick, forget it. So he remembered this and others, and the desire in his heart was not to change his clean date. So he invited the sponsor in before he did anything wrong into the dangerous neighborhood of his mind. A dangerous neighborhood for him and for you and you and you and you and you listening out there somewhere. Your mind is a dangerous neighborhood to be in all alone. Dangerous neighborhood for you to be in. He acted on the true desire of his heart, not saying, I really don't want to use, and then use. He showed he really didn't want to use by his what? His behavior and his actions. Dangerous neighborhood to be in all alone. This simple little seminar, I want to tell you, what's being said here, if you take this into your heart of hearts, this can save your life. Because the addiction, I say, not in a bottle, vial, or the bag, it's in you. And it begins right in this dangerous neighborhood all alone. All your actions, I don't care what it is that you're going to do, all starts in that same neighborhood. For the little lady in church with the fur coat, she has a neighborhood up there too, but it ain't a dangerous neighborhood. She's busy doing work to help people. She cleans her house. She does her shopping. You understand? She helps out at the local church or something. That's what goes on in her neighborhood. And she sings, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. She's dreaming of a little house somewhere with snow and horse-driven sleds. When you sing, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, what are you thinking of? You see the difference in the neighborhood? When somebody mentions an 8-ball, she immediately thinks of a pool table and a black pool ball with an 8 on it. When they say 8-ball to you, your pulse quickens, your heart jumps, and you're leaping out of your friggin' skin. It's happening in where? In a dangerous neighborhood, right? Wow, where it all begins. Your mind is a dangerous neighborhood to be in alone. So listen, you need to have people in the dangerous neighborhood with you. You need fellowship in there with people in the fellowship with whom you are bonded. They have walked in that neighborhood, so they know how you think. How's that? So if you're about to turn a corner in your mind, a wrong corner in your mind in that neighborhood, they know before you turn the corner. Can you see that? If you are bonded with them, not because you know them, hi Harry, hi Lucy, how are you, how are you, how are you? Screw that. You need to be bonded with them where maybe you have dinner with them, you play racquetball with them, you go fishing with them. You are bonded with them. You have a friendship with them. Listen, not just a sponsor, but several people. A management team, not a network. Management team with whom you are bonded. Listen now, one heart knows another. They know your heart. You know their heart. You can't snow them. You can't play games with them. You're close to them. They look in your eyes. They talk. If you're going to turn the wrong corner in that neighborhood, in your mind, they're going to see that in your eyes when you talk to them. That's what you need. Anything else, you're in a dangerous neighborhood all alone. It ain't in the damn bottle, vial, or bed. Don't you say, oh yes, because it will overdose. Do you know how many people, they're incarcerated? They lost their children. They lost their home. They lost everything. They're walking around with everything gone. And they're using now to escape the mess, to escape what they've done, to escape the years of horror incarcerated, to escape the loss of everything. And it all started, oh yes, Rev, in the bottle with the dealer. No, it didn't start with the dealer. It didn't start in the bottle. It all started when you were all what? All alone in a dangerous neighborhood. And you want to stay all alone in it. You got to go find some people in the fellowship, baby. Some people in there with whom you're tight. Rev, you mentioned a management team. What do you mean a management team? You mean a support network? No, I don't mean a support network. A management team. A sponsor, one, and 3 or 4 people with whom you're tight. Tight. Let me walk in there a second. Really, really tight. 3 or 4 people where they know what's going on in that dangerous neighborhood in your head. Huh? All alone in there, and you're tight with them, and you're close, and they can watch the shift in your eyes. A management team. Why a management team, Rev? You keep saying management team. Yeah, because the step says our lives had become unmanageable. What'd you do? Wake up one morning and it was unmanageable? Oh, I wonder how that happened. Bullshit. You made it unmanageable. How many can see that? You made it unmanageable by your behavior. All begins right there in the dangerous neighborhood. All alone. It all starts there. It doesn't start with the dealer. It starts in the dangerous neighborhood in your mind where you get the thought to go to the dealer. How's that? Management team. What's so wrong with having some people you're tight with, you have dinner with, you play racquetball with, you go fishing with, ladies do something else. You're tight, they know who you are, they look in your eyes, you know when you're shucking, jiving, when you're playing, when there's a shift in your eyes. They know. You go ahead without that, you dead. That dangerous neighborhood that you're in all alone is where it all starts. Every guy that's gone to jail, let me see the hands again, put in jail, come on. That started in the dangerous neighborhood, huh? And you see it? All alone in the dangerous neighborhood. Now, you could hear this. I present it. When I speak, my words are the clarity of the words are inescapable. So I know when I finish, I didn't mince words. I laid them out clear, man. They were not what other people have said the way they have said them. These are words for people who heard what the others said and how they said them and didn't get it. So this is outside the box. It's a way of looking at it. You have to say to yourself, son of a bitch. I'm all alone in a dangerous neighborhood. The man is talking to me, and I'm in the 6th row. You better believe it, baby. Now, the clarity of my words is inescapable. What you do with this, I know what I give. Only you know what you get, man. I don't know what you're going to get. Some don't get nothing. Some don't like me. Some don't like the way I present. But for those of you who can look at this and say, what the man is saying is a different cut. What the man is saying, there's no escape from the truth in it. There's no escape from the reality of what the man is saying. What you have to say to yourself is, it's true. That's how I wound up in jail. That's why I wound up going to another rehab. Because everything that I did, you have to say to yourself, every time I screwed up, every single time, you have to say to yourself, I was alone in a dangerous neighborhood before I began to act on that. Your mind is a dangerous neighborhood to be in alone. You better go get somebody in there in your life and they're in your heart and they're in your head and you're in their life and you're in their heart and you're in their head. Not a lot, not a lot. And if you're honest and you let them in that dangerous neighborhood, you're going to find out they help you not to do what you used to do. As long as the desire in your heart is not to do wrong. As long as the desire in your heart is not to do wrong, they can help you. If the desire in your heart is to use, to pick up, to go to the dealer, to commit the crime, don't matter. It'll show up in your behavior. And then when it's all over, what, huh? Then you want to use, isn't that true? Make it all go away. This been helpful to people here tonight? You think, yeah? Go ahead. Yeah? Thank you. Hey, if you found this Outside the Box recovery seminar that I just presented helpful to you, then share it. Share it with friends on Facebook and on Twitter and on your other social media accounts. You may help someone else's recovery by doing that. Well, that's the seminar. It's important, however, to understand that it's not offered as a replacement for your participation in the treatment and self-help programs that are available. It's offered to you for the purpose of opening new understanding and to encourage you to get into the appropriate self-help and treatment programs that are available for your life. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you around. I'll see you around.